And the use of the word concentration camp and racism, I think, were points of contention and had to be fought over with the state to include that terminology. So there's always that issue of whose story is it and how do you tell it? And the power of words. So like we didn't want it to say this was a relocation center where people were evacuated to save them from, angry people at home, rather than like there was a lot of racism that forced this thing to happen and ended up with us being in concentration camp. So those are two ways of telling that story. And it's like up to us to make sure that what we consider to be the more accurate, crisp, direct description of it is what we're told. And, we should make no apology that we have a certain perspective because it's our folks who are behind the barbed wire here. And that is a valid perspective. Even if other people disagree with it, it's our truth. So we tell our truth. And that's really important for us to convey to all the pilgrims. That they should also speak their truth and not be afraid because other people might not like it, might disagree, especially under this anti-DEI climate that we're in. It's unfortunate. We're seeing a lot of schools, libraries, institutions kind of caving to that because of the funding issues and because of employment issues, which are understandable. But we keep saying, stop repeating history, that we want to be, what kind of ancestors do we want our grandchildren and great-grandchildren to remember? And that, yes, to stand up for what is right can, and in this period of time, is a risky proposition in many respects, but that morally it's the right thing to do. And that we got to encourage people to take a good moral stance. What is right? What is in line with democracy? And stand for that. A lot of the stuff we hear is that, well, they weren't nice people. Well, they made trouble. They, yelled at folks. They created a big fuss. Well, yeah, resistance against oppression is not always a nice thing to do. And we've got to remember that and think about that. It's like, yeah, I want to be a nice person, but nice does not mean succumbing to whatever the oppressor says is the right thing to do, or everybody needs to go there because that's what we want to do. Like, we want to redline this area. We want to exterminate a certain community. And we can't say, well, it caused a lot of trouble if we objected to that.
A lot of this, what Ms. Lynn was talking about, speaks to the importance and power of our docent team, because especially now, with what's going on with rewriting some stuff or erasing history, without us as the docents, the Japanese American descendants and former incarcerees, it's like, hey, then you got the people from the administration, government administration telling us what the truth was. And unless we question it and say, well, hey, maybe that didn't happen the way you say and all of that, then, we're, losing a very important voice.
Anecdotally, I just realized at Manzanar, they have the monument, and people come and they bring all different types of offerings, and you don't see that here, which is interesting. Like, there's nothing left behind on the plaque at all.
The monument at Manzanar, you're talking about the Ideto. Yeah, well, that's a religious kind of thing. This is not.
Yeah,
So
but we don't have any other places.
no, but that's what Go's parents want to fund and have built. In order to get it built, well, we have to get the buy-in of the Sasaki's and then the Park Service, and then they're saying that if it's a monument, there's certain rules that need to be applied.